This here is the Whiteline rear subframe bushing insert kit for the GT86 on FRS and BRZ. I had that for around a year and didn't get around to installing it yet. I've been holding off a bit about installing it because there are a lot of horror stories about people screwing up the threads on the subframe when they try to reinstall the bolts. So anyway, I as usual tried to find a video about how to install it, didn't find any. So for everyone else who might be interested in seeing how to install this, I'm gonna do a video about it now. So first up, opening it. So this is the content, manual, and a sticker, some grease. According to the manual there should be two, maybe they changed it to one larger one, I don't know. And here are the different inserts. These of course goes different places, and that's all described in the instructions which goes where. So the next thing is, well, the car is already on jack stands because I had to tighten some bolts on my header, and yeah, so it should be pretty easy to get to it. So first off, what do these things actually do? I took this clip from Whiteline's website. I'm sure they won't mind, as I'm basically promoting their product. And as you can see, they put a camera under the car so you can see the subframe, and with the OEM bushings you can see the subframe is moving quite a lot around during acceleration and cornering. With the bushing inserts installed, for comparison, you can see that the subframe is much more steady and the subframe is not moving around at all, so power is not wasted moving the subframe instead of driving the wheels, and that the alignment of the car is much more steady and hopefully should provide a better grip. So on to the installation. So the first thing to do is to get a jack below the subframe to support it, and afterwards we will remove each side this bolt, which is the rearmost bolt of the subframe, and then we can put in the bushings, or at least it should be easy as that. So this is what the bolt looks like. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but there's definitely some sort of thread locker on it. So I'm guessing that's why people might screw up the reinstallation, because it was really tight to get out, and so it might be difficult to feel if it's cross-threading when screwing it back in. So probably will help cleaning it quite thoroughly with a wire brush or something like this. so you get a better feel for screwing it back in. So next, according to the instructions, this is going to completely remove the frame retaining bolt and grease the bushing insert and insert into the top of the frame on both sides, and that should be the 67722. 6722, that would be this one. Movement. Enough. So they didn't really provide a ton of grease, so I guess it's a matter of being a bit economical about it. It's a bit annoying. So first one. So I cleaned up the threads with a wire brush, and I'm gonna give it blue Loctite, because I think if Subaru deemed it necessary to put thread locker on it, then it's probably a good idea. Something like this. Slippery. So here it's very clear that it's not threading, so I guess I have to raise the subframe again before it will engage correctly. So I'm gonna do the other side and leave this as it is for now. Okay, I did the other side, so now raising the subframe back up. Checking that they're sitting correctly, both sides. And yeah, so now hopefully it will be easy to screw the bolt back in. I hope. Nope. Doesn't really feel good. So whatever you do, don't force them in. One said it helped loosening up the front subframe mounts. So I might gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what the problem is, because we lowered the frame, the bolt is going in at an angle, and even if we raise the frame back up, we already lowered it because of the insert. So it's lowered about a centimeter, and I guess is enough that the bolt is slightly kinked when going in. So I would definitely say it's necessary to loosen the forward mounts as well before trying to tighten this up. Whiteline doesn't mention that in the instructions, but I think that would absolutely be a good idea. So what I did now was remove this piece of underbody paneling. Can you remember which way? Probably that way it was sitting. And it was just a couple of nuts and two retainer clips. So, and on the other side I already removed that one, which is holding the subframe on that with that bolt. This is just for the ABS line as far as I can see, and this is holding this bracket in the front. So I'll go ahead and remove that one as well. I should mention as well that I put another jack, well, I changed the jack which was supporting the back of the frame to a smaller one, and moved the bigger and better jack, which is more controllable, to the front of the subframe. So it's now supported on both the front and the back. At the back at the moment there are no bolts in. So on the other side where I took this bracket off already, I screwed in the bolt again. And by the way, it went in with very easily. You could screw it in by hand very easily. So yeah, which I feel a little bit better about, that at least one bolt is somewhat holding it in place. I'm not so worried about it dropping down, but I'm worried about it moving and screwing my alignment up completely. Also, I don't want to use any power tools here because I think it's a little bit too delicate. And again, there's a thread locker on the bolts. Once you remove that with a wire brush, on the other side it went in very easily again. But it's the same again now, driving it out, that it's a bit tight. So again, all this red stuff on the bolt. So here again, the cleaned bolt. And you can see how easy it is to screw in, which is the way I think I prefer it to. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave a gap about 1 centimeter, which was the same as in the back. And I'm gonna do that on both sides. Then I'm gonna lower the jack down. so that it's now, well, here's not the best light, but so that it's now resting on the bolt. So hopefully that should equalize the 1 centimeter that we now lowered it in the back due to the bushing as well. So what I want to do now is get the bolts back in to ensure that it's supported in the back again. Well, didn't really change much. So a small update on what I did here off camera. What I did was I took my lamp and I looked from below into the hole, and I could see that the subframe had moved slightly backwards and the hole wasn't exactly in the center. So I took like a hammer and gave it a small notch. By the way, I also removed the wheels to take some weight off, and that was sufficient that I can now screw it in by hand. Also, still I have the subframe in the front. I have that lowered approximately. As you can see, that there's this a gap which is similar to the amount we lowered it due to the bushing. So anyway, now we can screw it in. I'm not using a wrench. Just using an extension because it's a bit easier than to get my hands in there. But with this amount of force, I'm sure not to cross thread anything. So 1 down, 3 to go. So the lesson here is, if you can't thread them by hand, it's not due to the thread locker that Subaru used. Don't think the camera will pick that up, but this is very badly aligned. So here it's a little bit more difficult. Let's get a hammer in there. It's still very badly aligned. Here's a crazy method. Sorry about the light on the other end. I can't move because my foot is on the subframe, and at the same time I'm using my hand to screw in the bolt, and as soon as it gets tight, I can push with my foot or release the pressure so it just slides in. So the only thing now that I regret is that I didn't get thread locker on it. So I'm gonna use the same method, pull it back out and give it some thread locker. So here's removing the other one again with my angle, my foot on the lower control arm, and I can just push with the foot until it rotates without resistance. So thread lock on that as well. Back in. Slight pressure. release the pressure now. And it's in there. So next up are the front ones, which actually it was a good idea to take the wheels off. Sorry for the shaking here. That makes it considerably easier to get to it. Those bolts are already loose. And cleaned and everything. We need to get that top washer out, so we need to lower it a bit more, which means I have to take the other bolt out as well. I can easily understand why people are cross-threading these bolts, because the fact that they are quite difficult to remove might lead to the false impression that it's due to the thread locker being in the threads, which is clearly not the case. After you clean the bolts, they should be able to go in with no force. So lowering the subframe again. So we should be able to take these out. Okay. And which means that we can continue with these. Here you have like a slot in them where this should go in, and we just need to stick them in, which means I need to lower it a bit more. See if that's enough room or not. It's not. So I probably have to loosen it up a bit in the back again. Yeah, it now got really tight. Oops. So this is a bit playing one way and the other. Still not enough room. Ah, that must be enough. There we have it. So again, clean that a bit as well. They didn't really include a lot of grease, which would be my only complaint, because I hate having to not using liberal. Switching to my iPhone as the battery died on my GoPro camera. GoPro clone, I should say. But bushing installed there, tightened up. It's just hand tight so far. It's gotten dark. And on the other side as well. Should have brought the light. But trust me, bushing is up there, but the insert and down here. So you can see it's all just tightened in by hand. And the same for the last one. Yeah, it's completely dark. And the same for the last one here. Bushing insert, hand tied in, and the bracket is back in. There we have it again, the other one, just hand tied. So the only thing left to do is to torque everything down, and I guess I don't have to show that because that's not really a big of a thing. So I'm gonna end the video here, and I hope you found those few tips on how to install the Whiteline bushing inserts for the rear subframe. I hope you found those tips helpful. So I'm gonna tighten everything up, and then I'm gonna remove the jacks, and then I'm gonna switch over to my summer wheels, my Yokohama 8008R. So I'm really looking forward to getting rid of the Michelin tires, the stock Michelin tires, which absolutely work horrible with my current suspension setup and alignment. So actually it's not the problem that it's tail happy, the problem is that the car is understeering a lot, or actually it's oversteering and understeering and everything. So I look forward to get some more grip. So along with the Whiteline, activate more grip, which is their slogan, and I'll activate more grip with those as well. So thank you for watching.